Sometimes there's a call to action, and other times there's a call to words. And now is one of those pussy times for a call to words. In GUY-ENCE, I want to broach the subjects that are important, the ones that need answering, the ones that require a little bit of math and a little bit of imagination and a whole hell of a lot of chest hair. Today, on GUY-ENCE, we're going to ask the question, how much exactly is a Dickload? GUY-ENCE, how much is a Dickload? Part 1. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard the term Dickload used before. Lord knows I've used it, Lord knows I've heard it. Usually in reference to carrying, well, a lot of shit. However, that doesn't tell us exactly how much a Dickload weighs. That's why I'm here to do the math for you. First off, we need the definition of a Dickload. A Dickload is a lot of something or a huge amount, i.e., that's a lot of ham, or a dickload of ham. Definition courtesy of the Urban Dictionary. Now, that's a start, but it's not an answer. Now, bearing that in mind, we need to ask what else could constitute a Dickload. And there are two things that I've come to the conclusion. That can be either A, an actual load of dicks, or B, jizz. Therefore, when you're saying a Dickload, it could either mean the total weight of a specific load of jizz, or the total weight of a specific load of dicks. Man dicks. So, we need to take into consideration some math. First off, what is the average length of an adult male's dick? Penis, for short. That's 5.1 to 5.9 inches, and that's courtesy of UnitedMen'sHealth.org. With that in mind, we need to take the average of that, which is 5.1 inches plus 5.9 inches. That's 11 inches in total, dividing by 2 in order to get the average, because there's 2 of them. That brings us to a grand total of 5.5 inches. That means the average man's penis is 5.5 inches. It's a lot smaller than I was expecting. Now, we have the average length of a man's penis, but that doesn't necessarily give us the weight. So, in order to provide a reasonable facsimile or, analogy, something similar to it, fuck you, it's words, I've taken the average weight of an Eisenberg gourmet beef frank hot dog, which is 6 inches long. According to Eisenberg, it is 3.2 ounces. So, comparatively speaking, given the relative density of a hot dog compared to a penis, you're going to be looking at about 3.2 ounces per average man's dong. Not my dong, but an average man's dong. So, we need to do a little bit of math. We have 5.5 inches divided by 6 inches. That's the length of their hot dog. We're going to come to an average on that, which is 0.9166666, going off into infinity because numbers are gay. Going down, we're going to do a percentage on that, which is 92% of 3.2 ounces, which means the average man's penis is going to be about 2.944 ounces. Now, that's the exact number. If you want to say 3.2 ounces, you very easily could say that, as there will be some variation. Some dicks are thicker than others. Some are just thick and long. You might not be able to see it, but I'm winking. Wink, wink. My dick's big. So, let's go down. 5.5 inches at 2.944 ounces. That is one average dude's dick. That is the average weight and average length. We are not going to consider girth in this instance because, well, let's be 100% honest with you. Inches and ounces are going to give you about an average size. So you really don't need to go out there and start measuring dudes' penises, in order to get a general consensus because, well, that is not field work I'm willing to do for free. So, moving on. So, the next thing we need to ask is, what exactly is a load? Now, according to dictionary.com, a load is a heavy or bulky thing that is being carried or is about to be carried. Now, you may notice that is not fucking helpful for our purposes really at all. As a matter of fact, you could honestly say that showing you that kind of wasted your time because it's a fairly ambiguous term. All it says is that it's something that's about to be carried. You could be referencing one dick. My dick. Because if we're talking about something heavy, it's a pretty good example. Anyway, that's not going to do. we're not going to use that. So I'm going to say, fuck that. See? Fuck that. Exclamation point, which means it's serious. So, moving on, I'm going to choose a term that has a very definitive weight to it, a very definitive measurement that can be applied to it, and a very definitive volume. For that, I'm going to say a bushel. Huh? How's about that? A bushel. It's got a definitive measurement, but it also works in terms of the name, because men's dicks have bushes. Men's dicks have bushes, unless they're in pornography, in which case they just have a very, very, very fine layer of HPV. So we're going to do the math for that. A bushel is 64 U.S. pints. 64 U.S. pints. U.S. pints. And now we need to know what a pint is. A pint is 16 ounces. So we need to do a little bit of math on that. If 1 pint equals 16 ounces, how much is 64 pints? So, doing a little bit of math, we're able to determine that there's exactly 1,024 ounces in a bushel, the new accepted definition for a load. With that in mind, we're able to do a little bit more math. 1,024 divided by 2,944. That is the number of ounces in a bushel. That is the number of ounces in your average man's penis. So, doing that math, we come to the conclusion of 347.826087. Thank you, numbers, and your wonderful decimal places and fractions. You never cease to make things fucking complicated as shit. With that in mind, we're going to round up. That's 348 dicks. So, in the average dick load, or dick bushel, as it shall be known now and forevermore, there is roughly 348 dicks. That's going off of definition A, however, that it's an actual load of dicks. So, part 1 is relatively solved. Now, when you say you are carrying a dick load of something, you can tell your friends that it is equivalent to carrying 348 penises. Could you imagine that? 348 penises? 348 dicks? Cock and balls? 348 of those? Could you imagine carrying that many? Huh? What if they're still attached to the guys? Good God. You'd just be leading them around by their dicks. Wait, is that where you get that term from? No. No. We're not going to do that math. We're not going to do that science. That point does not matter right now. What we have done is solve part A of the dick load. That is part 1. On part 2, we're going to approach the second part to what could make up a dick load. That being jizz. Do you like how I spelled that? See it? I have a graphic arts degree. It's pretty cool. Here, there we go. Next time it's going to be how much actual jizz is in a dick load. I gotta go buy lotion. See you next time.